सर नमस्ते।
नमस्कार नमस्कार।
मैं सतीश सिन्नरकर, एडिटर एंड पब्लिशर ऑफ इंडियन इलेक्ट्रिकल कॉन्ट्रैक्टर एंड ट्रेडर फॉर लास्ट 25 इयर्स, और आज आपके साथ में बातचीत करने का मौका मुझे मिला है। तो इसमें दो पार्ट में मैं आपसे बात करना चाहता हूँ। एक तो बिज़नेस की बात बाद में करेंगे, लेकिन पहले हम ये बताना चाहते हैं कि मदन दोडेजा आदमी कब मुंबई में आए। उन्होंने मतलब ये 47 के बाद में ही हुआ है आपका जन्म, तो शायद मुंबई में हुआ होगा। तो ये ऐसे मुंबई में कैसे आए, आपके पेरेंट्स क्यों आए, और किस तरह से आपका बचपन, एजुकेशन ये बीता, और ये करते समय आपको क्या किस तरह के इंस्पिरेशन मिले कि भाई अपने को कुछ करना चाहिए, बिजनेस करना चाहिए। इस तरह से थोड़ा अपने पर्सनल लाइफ के बारे में थोड़ा आप बताइए।
Thank you for giving me this opportunity. I feel grateful that you have come to discuss about my life history. So my parents' birthplace was before partition in Pakistan. So in this partition they migrated to Bombay, but they got married in Bombay. They did not knew each other. They got married in Bombay. Their birthplace was Karachi, and my birth is also in Bombay at Ghatkopar Rajawadi Hospital in the year 1953. So naturally my grandparents went through a lot of challenges, but one core thing which I have experienced in my life is from my grandparents and from my elders is that everybody was committed to education, hard work, academic growth and honesty. It was unfortunate that I lost my father when I was around 10-12 years.
Oh.
My mother became a widow at the age of 27 with 5 siblings, with 5 children, and it was really a tough time for her to bring us up. By that time the family was scattered, and my mother was alone in bringing us up.
Where you were staying?
Ghatkopar. It was the place which was built by my grandparents, and we had a small house in that, a roof over there. But my mother, I think it was the culture at that time to never give up, and she was a fighter, and she really worked hard in other people's house, whether it was making food for them or doing small errands, just to see that her children have a normal living. She was uneducated, so she wanted us to go have a proper education, and she worked hard to see that we were able to go to the right school, and our education, all of 5 brothers, 2 brothers and 3 sisters, education was in Ghatkopar at Fatima School.
That must be 1960.
Absolutely, it was in 60s, and it was really tough for her. And as the eldest son, the only thing which was there in my mind, how can I make my mother happy? Because she was always in tears because of various challenges to bring 5 children, and it is not easy today. In today's time we cannot imagine such situations, but she was a fighter. And every time I thought about anything, it was how can I bring a smile to my mother's face, what all I should do, how can I support her. And this is the way my childhood grew, in doing small errands to make my mother feel positive and happy about me. And probably that became my nature, because then every person I touched, I wanted to bring a smile on that person's feeling. And that is the way my nature became, that everywhere, wherever there was an opportunity, I do something out of my way or to his delight, to see that he feels positive and happy about me, and that became my personality.
Education, how?
So at that time there was schools were till SSC 11th standard, and Friday my exams were over. My mother took me to one of her relative with a request, please can you give my son some job so that we have something to eat, please help us. So my relative had taken me, my mother's relative had taken me to her brother, and that person said, he is underage, I cannot employ him. But there were tears in my mother's eyes, and with her looking at her plead, the person said, okay, I will give him a job. So I got a job from the next day. Friday was the SSC exam last day, and from Saturday I got a job, and I started working from the next day, Saturday. And the journey of
What was that job?
Job was of a peon at 165 rupees.
Okay.
You are asking me, so I have to be truthful that this life is not a picnic. It has you need to have a very strong purpose. So I must tell you, Mr. Satish ji,
Yes.
that my senior peon, Ashok Kadam, who trained me, what does, if the boss presses one bell, what you should do, presses two bells, what you should do, how you should attend when he presses three bells. He gave me that training, and today, because I think that is in my nature, he's working at Vashi.
Oh, he's working at Vashi.
Yeah, Ashok Kadam, he's working at Vashi. When I said that people with whom I get connected, get connected from my heart.
He must be of your age only.
Yes, but I still, when I look at him, I treat him as my boss. I don't treat him as doing some activity.
So further education was not there.
So I went to the morning college,
Achha.
MMK. I went to the morning college, MMK Commerce, and fortunately, in the meantime, this company where I started working is Finolex.
Oh.
Finolex at that time was starting to grow. Their turnover was not even in thousands. But I got an opportunity to be part of that journey. So from a peon, I got opportunities because my senior is absent today. So somebody has to do that job.
Correct.
And I would do that job. I would do that job, and my boss used to tell me, can you do this? Oh my God, why don't you do this always? Why don't you do this? And I was always ready to explore new opportunities. And I got these opportunities when my bosses went on leave, or they were absent, or they were not there. And I used to do that job, I used to do that job, and I used to do that job. And I am a salesman by accident. I never thought that I would like my career to be a salesman. But then I got an opportunity by accident to become a salesman.
In the Finolex only?
In Finolex only. And then I started going to customers. Hard work was always there in my nature. I never believed in shortcuts. So 160 rupees, I used to come and give it to my mother. She used to give me 1 rupee per day. I have to go to the college in the morning, and then full day I have to travel, and I have to manage my lunch, everything in that. In the evening, I used to also, in the initial part, give some tuitions to second standard, third standard children, just to see that my mother is feeling comfortable. And this continued for few years. Then I started working as a salesman, and I kept on growing in the organization, kept on growing.
How many years you worked in Finolex?
I worked from 1970 to 81, 11 years.
11 years.
And in 11 years, I became the head of the sales department.
Oh.
So at a very young age, I had a large team and to work, and I felt that I am only signing papers now. I have achieved here, this is the ultimate. After this, it is only owners who are running the show. As far as an organization head is concerned, I had already achieved that level of success in that Finolex organization, from a peon to the head of sales. It was a great achievement for me. I think I am blessed, and nature has given me more than I deserve. So, and I realized, okay, if in 30 days, 8 hours per day, 240 hours, my boss is giving me this compensation, why don't I try something on my own? So when I told my boss, he always treated me like his son. So when I told my boss I want to start something, he was upset with me. And believe me, for next 8 years, he did not speak with me.
Oh.
But I made a resolution, because he felt that I know so much about cable that I may work against the company who has given me the real birth in this business environment. माँ बाप ने तो मेरे को जन्म दिया, लेकिन ये जीना कैसे सिखाया, जीना कैसे चाहिए, वो तो मुझे इंस्पिरेशन फिनोलेक्स के बॉस से मिला, मिस्टर पीपी छाबरिया से. For the next 8 years, I did not touch cables. I convinced myself, if I am a good salesman, I should be able to sell anything, but I must not misuse the knowledge which was given to me to grow that company. And I forgot about cables. That is why I started my career as a switchgear person.
Achha.
So,
but then how this Vashi name came?
I will come.
Okay.
So this switchgear, so I started because I was traveling all over the country, and at that time there were states where there was lot of power cut, 100% power cut, like UP, West Bengal, Kerala. There was no power and everything was rationing. So the Siemens, L&T products were rationed and given to all these states, but these states, because they did not have power, they did not have business also. I used to go there and I knew on what date their allocation will come. I used to take all that material and bring it to Bombay. I used to work for next 2 years. I worked as a courier, going to Calcutta, going to Kanpur, going to Kerala, get all this product and sell at Lower Chal. So sitting without any office, I used to really sell very huge quantity of MK1 DOL. And this gentleman, Mr. Mohan Jangyani of Macroma, he somehow trusted me and my brother. So we wanted, when I left Finolex, I got gratuity of only 24,000 rupees. And ours was a growing family. Whatever salary was coming was already getting consumed. So there was no saving anything. And this 24,000 rupees was not enough. So we wanted to buy a small office. So I asked one of my friends what I should do about getting this office. He said, I will give you an order. You get me that material, I will give you cash payment. You go to the builder, make that payment and buy that small office. I said, it's a good idea. And this Mohan Jangyani of Macroma believed in me and he gave me 1,25,000 at that time, material on credit.
On credit, okay.
And this material I took to this gentleman. He is my very good friend. And I gave this material, took the payment, paid to the builder 1,19,000 rupees and took an office at Andheri East and had a place to work.
That was in 1980.
1981.
81.
I got an office, and from there the journey. So traditionally my parents, my grandparents were the brand name or the company name was Western. So we had Western Electric House. So this is the way I started going to places, buying material from where there is no demand, where there is demand, and make a living out of it and moving forward. The first agency I got in such a process was of Crompton. And in Crompton, I was able to take them to new customers. My life has been of a volunteer. Many a times I really don't know much about the product, but I am ready to walk with my principals and take them to the customer, potential customer, understand how they communicate, absorb that learning, and I can do similar activities at multiple other places, and this is how my bandwidth and my customer base got expanded.
So you didn't have any education, formal education in engineering or electrical? Nothing.
No. Very good question. So when I got Siemens distributorship, channel partnership, they gave it to me only because I agreed to sell number of dual starters, because they said that other products are in rationing, only we want dual starters. I said okay, I will make backdoor entry, I will sell dual starters. So in the very first year I got an award for the maximum sales. So I did not knew. So one day I was standing at the counter of my place, and somebody came and asked for a contactor. So when he asked for the contactor, I felt that we don't have it. So my counter guy said, no sir, wait, I will give him. So he went inside, he brought one dual starter box, and he opened the box and he took out a contactor from that dual starter and gave him. At that time I knew, after getting the award, that a starter consists of contactor and relay. So today people think that product knowledge is important. More than product knowledge, your involvement and your commitment to achieve your goal is important. So this is an ideal example. I sold thousands of starters and I did not knew that iska andar contactor relay hota hai. That is equal to a starter. My knowledge about business is, technical aspect of business is very poor. But my knowledge about how to bring a delightful experience of bringing a smile on my customer face, I think I have that God gift.
So what was the turning point in this business story? How you grew up?
So it was not planned. I started, my first place of work was a garage. From there we bought this small office. So it was not planned. I would not say that there was a 5-year plan or 10-year plan, but that hunger to grow was perpetual. And the sensors were on to look for opportunities. And I would always like to be a differentiator. So if you see my working, I did not start my office at Loarchal. I started at a remote place in Andheri where there was MIDC. Being near the customer. So this was a big differentiator at that time. Everything to buy, somebody has to go to Loarchal. I brought Loarchal to Andheri by having a base over there. So if he wants to buy material, he wants to return material, he wants to service material, we were able to bring that differentiator. Today, every big trader in Loarchal has a remote office in one of the surrounding industrial areas, whether it is New Bombay. We were among the first to go to New Bombay. We were among the first to go to Vashi. All the industrial parts, only because we always thought, how can I bring comfort to my customers? How can I bring ease of business to my customers? How can I bring peace of mind to my customers? That was always how to be a differentiator, whether it is at the customer point or also at the principal point. How can I be a differentiator when they are looking at other channel partners? How can I add value? So these were inborn thoughts in my mind, which I used to always probe and come out with better solutions and discuss over there.
Coming back to your personal life, about your wife, or your children, how they are now placed.
So I, being the eldest, I always thought, okay, in our type of families, I did not want to take a chance. So I got, with grace of God, with the support of my other family members, I proposed that we get our two sisters, my two younger sisters, married first, and they got married, and then I was fortunate to get married, and things were on the rise. We went to a better house to stay. Everything was getting. I had one daughter, and my son, first son was born, and after the son was born, my wife suddenly detected a lump in the breast, and it was malignant.
Oh.
And for the next 5 to 6 years, she was in and out of the hospital, struggling, and life became a big challenge because my son was just growing, and when my son was about 5 to 6 years old, she left us.
Oh.
And then my daughter and son, fortunately my mother was there, my brother, my babi were there, and we all together were able to go through this challenge of life and bring up our children. Then in the year, I think about after 7-8 years, there were some certain incidences in my circle where I got an opportunity to marry again. So I married again, and I adopted my wife's son, and by grace of God and blessing, today my elder daughter is a gold medalist from JJ School of Arts.
Oh.
My first son is a rank holder from SP Jain Family Business Institute, and he's also done his chartered accountancy. He worked in KPMG before joining Vashi. And my second son did his graduation from Purdue University, and Purdue University, USA, highly educated, and they are happy. And my daughter has 2 children, my elder son has 2 children, and God is kind, and I feel I am blessed, and every moment I feel grateful. This life is for this karma process. We have to go through this journey.
Yes.
But we have to go through this journey where we create a better future, better karma for the future. And I am blessed and grateful that I have been able to peacefully continue my life with contentment.